Hey, everybody. Hi. We are recording on um, the Venus Star Point, and I'm really happy to announce the introduction, the release of level 3 of the course, which has been highly anticipated by several students. And I want to introduce one of the best students I've ever had, Louise Edington, here with me today.
Mhm.
She became a Venus Star Point practitioner several years ago now and has been working with it for quite a while. And so we're just here to talk about, I will tell you a little bit about the level 3 course, but first I wanted to ask Louise to just share a little bit of her experience about learning about the Venus Star Point and how it's
Mhm.
affected you. So take it away, Louise.
Yeah, sure. Well, in some ways, I was working with the Venus Star Point in my own way before I discovered Arielle's work, but I didn't call it that then. I run a Venus retrograde class every 19 months when Venus is retrograde, and I have done since early 2017. And of course, then it really kind of started deepening my work because it's an amazing course and very transformational. It's kind of astro shamanic in nature. And after the first one, where I dreamed the class literally, because I have Venus and a Neptune right at the top of my chart in Scorpio, then I discovered Ariel's work. So I decided to get the books, and then I decided to take the course and deepen my knowledge of the Venus work. And finding out that my own prenatal Venus star point is conjunct my Pluto in my eighth house and aspecting that Venus Neptune conjunction in Scorpio at the top of my chart, also square Mars and trine Saturn, has just kind of added to my personal depth and understanding of how Venus works within me and my work. So it's just been an ongoing kind of exploration of depth and using the
Yeah,
Venus
it
star
sounds like
point
that
in.
Venus Star Point really amplifies your own Venus too. It's like it brought it out
It
even
does.
in a more in a fuller way than it already was stated.
It did, yeah, and also, because of the nature of the eighth house and where my natal Venus is in Scorpio, and the fact the VSP is conjunct Pluto, it kind of deepened the shamanic work as well in the class. It kind of um, pushed me, encouraged me, I would say, to kind of lean even more deeply
Yeah.
into how my work with Venus and the Venus star point works, and it's just been an ongoing journey of transformation for me, both me personally, and then of course that ripples out to my clients and how I work with them too. So
Now,
mm,
I have a
it's been
question for
it's
you
been great.
because my
Mm,
chart is natural wheel, Aries rising. So I have Aries in the
mm.
first house, etc., all the way around the wheel.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Mm,
the house and the sign are the same for me. And
mm,
one question that I have for you is that your Venus star point is in Virgo, but it's in the
mm,
house of Scorpio, the eighth house. Which do you
mm.
consider a little bit more potent for you? How do those two work together? How do they play out together?
Well, it plays out really well together. I can't separate the potency really because the Virgo energy, especially in the eighth house, kind of shows my early life, how I was kind of brought up from very humble beginnings, but also, not expected to um, kind of come out of that eighth house to to kind of be a public kind of figure and go my own way really and to serve others instead of be having that kind of servitude kind of
Mhm.
attitude. um, it's really kind of knowing it and being aware of that eighth house placement has really helped me to kind of come out of that eighth house kind of energy and that servitude side of Virgo. So
and actually
Yes.
transforming it, because what I know about you is you've done a lot of
Mm,
shamanic work and deep healing work, and lead people on journeys and things like that. And so, and transformational
mm,
astrology, of course. So I think when you look at
mhm,
the eighth house from that point of view, coming out of
mhm.
the shadows, let's say, of the eighth house into the
Yeah.
power or the empowerment of the eighth house, because that's the other thing
Yes.
that I think the Venus star point does for us. It's a transformational element in our life, really almost
Mhm.
in whatever house we have it in. But from the eighth house, it's true. And I would say this especially at a time when you and I grew up. You're a bit
Mhm.
younger than I, but still, we kind of grew up with a certain programming around women and what we can do and what we should do, and whether or not we
Mhm.
had the opportunities, there was still a societal
Oh,
implication of normalcy that maybe the eighth house, um, you know, didn't fit for you, as you know,
yeah.
like you were like, okay, I'm breaking out of this.
Oh, yeah. And especially, I think that square to Mars really helped that too. But yeah, my whole
Right.
upbringing was, and it kind of explains that, how I was born, which is what the prenatal Venus star point really shows. I was born to a very working class British family in the Midlands, which is also very working class. Women, were there to serve men. I'm the eldest of three brothers. My brothers never had to do any chores. I had to do the chores, all that kind of stuff. Kind of explains all that, those kind of patterns, or helps to explain all those patterns.
I was
Most
just in the
of my friends.
Midlands in England.
Yeah,
I know what you're speaking of. I met several people in that area.
yeah, yeah. And I literally kind of broke away by traveling and basing my Sag, but then, that Venus star point conjunct Pluto is square my Mars in Sagittarius, which is part of a big stellium. So I literally kind
That's
of
potent.
escaped.
I mean, when you break that
Yeah.
down, Venus star point conjunct Pluto, square Mars, like,
Hmm.
wow, that's potency. No,
Yeah.
you're not going to keep this
Yeah.
girl down.
No. No. And
Yeah.
it's been an ongoing journey, of course, of inner transformation. But I really think discovering the prenatal VSP and starting to really work with it just kind of accelerated that kind of growth and personal growth and coming out as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what it did for me. And it really amplified something. It exaggerated or amplified, I guess you could say, something that was already there in my chart, but I didn't pay much attention to. And then once I knew where this was, once I found it, it really struck
Mm.
me. It was actually like, boom, right into my physical being. Like, yes, it was a big yes.
Yes.
That is who I am at a deep level, at a core level. And that is what makes me feel alive. I've said this many times about the Venus star, what makes me feel alive. So
Hmm.
I just um, I wanted to, aside from knowing where your Venus star point is, and I did want to share, what I'm going to do is share my screen with you and just show you that this is my website, sophiavenus.com/Venus dash star dash point forward slash. This is the training program, and we have three levels: level one, level two, and level three. Level one and two have been out for a while. Level one talks about what Louise was just talking about, the beauty and the power of the Venus, the prenatal Venus Cazimi, the Sun conjunct Venus Cazimi as a star point, and what the whole five-pointed star is really about, because it is your prenatal point, but it's also all 5 points of the star. And level two goes into a little bit. So I would say level one is more for the beginner. Level two
Hmm.
is maybe a little bit more for the intermediate student, or the astrologer who already has a basic grasp of understanding of astrology fully. And we have a lot of chart examples, but the level two is more about relationships on the Venus star, because after all, Venus really is relationships. We have a five-pointed star, so we're looking at our own star point and then the relationships of other people on the other 4 points um, of the
Can I
star.
can I just say could I just say one thing? I think the level two is really good as well for your inner relationship with the parts of yourself, not just your external relationships. So just, it applies to both, I think. So,
It absolutely does, because I've seen
hmm
how what I call the foundational feet, like the two
hmm
star points that are, two away from my head star point, the 2 feet, are what I call the foundational feet or the grounding force in life. Those two signs
mm
for me and houses are definitely my grounding energies. They are what make me feel connected to the earth. And so, like you said,
yeah.
without even looking at someone on the outside, there is
Mm,
my relationship to my own body. And that's what level two will show you, is all the 5 points of the star, how it relates to your own chart and other people, how they fall into that as well. Now, level
yeah. And
three is a little bit advanced.
sorry,
Yeah,
my family, my family are definitely on my five-pointed star, but I don't, this kind of shows how this can be used for your focus in astrology. I don't do much relationship astrology. I'm more interested in the person. And so that's
right.
just to add to how how you can use level two if relationship astrology is not your main focus. So anyway.
Exactly. But it's about the relationship with the self. I think astrology, basically, we have
Yeah.
to all start there, the relationship to the
Hmm.
self and all the different parts of
Yeah.
ourselves that we find in different ways. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
So,
Hmm.
but there's terminology. There's the twin star, the creative star, the karmic star. And I show through a lot of couples how that plays out.
Yeah.
And then this newly advanced teachings is really exciting, because what I've done here is I've taken a very detailed analysis of the star point of the royal family, really centered on the late Queen's pentagram, and went
Mhm.
through it step by step, showing her own star points, her own planets on it, other people's star points on her star, other people's planets on her star, transits and progressions to her star. And how do you do transits and progressions to the star, and how are they different? So there's a lot more advanced material there, and also some new terminology in there. But I
Mhm.
think after you are finished with all 3 levels, you will have an incredible understanding of Venus as
Mhm.
you don't usually see her. Venus in a much
Yeah,
different way, on a different plane of existence, this orbiting star pattern that's operating behind the zodiac.
it's powerful. And Venus, I think it's important work because Venus, I think, has been a little sidelined in the astrology world overall in recent centuries, basically. It's kind of like, Venus, oh, it's love and relationship. And there's the deeper work with Venus, I think, is really important. So
Right,
it's the heart,
right.
it's the heart of things. Venus is the big sister of Earth, so she's
Exactly.
very
It's called
important.
the sister planet to
Yeah,
Earth, and it's really an important
yeah,
one. So it is Earth and Venus that are going around the sun, and this pentagram is measuring that. It's charting that. It's charting
mhm,
the relationship actually between Earth and Venus as they come together. And sometimes Venus is
mhm,
ahead of the sun, sometimes the sun is
mhm,
ahead of Venus. And it's all about this dance, this cosmic dance of when Venus catches up the to the
mhm,
sun, or when it's following or leading. And that is
Mm.
how we break it down into morning star, evening star, and so much more that you learn. But I don't want to say too much more. I think this
Yeah.
maybe speaks
Yeah.
for itself. And I really thank
Mm.
you, Louise, for being here today. And you can
Oh.
check all of this information out at my website, sophiavenus.com/Venus Star Point. And I will just say for now, stop share here. I'll say
Mm.
for now that I'm so happy to have Louise as part of our family of Venus Star Point practitioners.
A
We
lovely
do
group. Yeah.
at meetings. We have meetings regularly, not on the dot regularly, but when we can all make it. We all have very busy schedules, so we do try to get together several times a year to on Zoom to just talk about what's happening in the Venus Star universe. And I'm really glad to have Louise as part of this group.
I'm really glad to be a part of it. It's a lovely group. Yeah, of course, Venus attracts good people. So
Of course.
yes, because she is attraction as well. She's what you attract. So yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
So anyway,
yeah.
thank you, Louise, and
Thank
all the
you, Ariel.
best. And we hope to see you in our Venus group one of these days.